overall, I don't think this place is worth it. It just takes so long to get food, and the food's not the greatest when you get it. So I'm not sure what the incentive is for these.
Hi everybody. Welcome back, and today we are at the MGM, as we mentioned before, and we're going to give you guys a little bit of a room tour. So as you can see, this is the main walkway, and it ventures off into the bathroom right here. Alright, so main bathroom. It's got a lit mirror back here, so I apologize that I'm backlit. You got like one little skylight over here, but again, nothing over the actual tub, so it is kind of dark in here. But it's a full-size tub, nothing too special. And then you got your little, you know, other areas in the bathroom. All right, so there is a closet. It's got a little bit of like a light that kind of goes into it. Again, not very bright here, but it's pretty spacious. There's a luggage rack, hangers, and then when we come around the corner, this is the room. King size bed. We have a pretty big window, which we'll get to in just a minute. Desk. And TV. There's some drawers. This is the hookup for the TV. A little ice box. And then of course over here, the mini bar. As you can see, you don't want to touch this stuff. This stuff is expensive. All right, so now we're gonna get to the grand reveal of our view. You guys ready for this? The real winner. There we go. Got rocks. Not sure how well you guys can see this because the sun is shining. It's really early in the morning.
And the windows are dirty.
And the windows are dirty. But we have a lovely view of AC units and rocks. And then, you know, another tower over here. So yeah. That is our room here at the MGM.
All right, now that we've taken a look at the room, let's take a look around the hotel. So here are the hotel hallways. You'll see the floral pattern, and it's kind of got like a whitish, grayish color on the walls. Definitely older. And a little bit maybe outdated, but that's it. This is the main sitting area, and it's like a hub after you get out of the elevators. This kind of differentiates the hotel from the casino because there is more seating down there. And this is where the main elevators are for the rooms in this area. So now that we've shown you a little bit of the hotel, this is the district. So this is the shopping area, as well as there's a TV city that you'll see in a second that's kind of cool. But the shopping area claims that Topgolf is connected. It's not. It's a long walk, and it's actually a separate business, just so you know. The Television City is really cool. It was closed at the time we were there, but apparently they do test screenings and stuff there for everything from the CW, CBS, MTV, Showtime. Really cool area, and the store was closed, so we didn't get to take a peek, but it was mostly Big Bang Theory if you like that. And now there's a bunch of comedy clubs and things inside the MGM as well. And this is one of my favorite things. It's the lion statue. It was so cool to look at. The flowers around it were awesome. And you'll see behind you, behind the lion is the check-in area, and that's where you have to go to do all your check-in. So this is right in the main entrance of the MGM. So here's another exhibit at the Hunger Games. We'll actually be heading back there one of these days to actually go through this exhibit. It looks pretty cool, but it does cost a little bit of money to check out. And then you have the great and legendary David Copperfield. I know as a kid growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, loved him to death because of the TV specials. Really want to go back and check out his show. But here's a statue of his bust. And then there's a bunch of other cool stuff in the lobby, like he has one of his Emmy Awards out there too that you get to check out when you're there too. Another cool show that you can check out is Circus De Soleil. That's also in the MGM Grand, and you'll see this really cool dragon that I just really dug when we were there, so I wanted to get a nice picture of that too. So in the MGM, if you head past the casino and go back towards the pool, there's actually a monorail that is attached to the MGM casino that runs to a bunch of different hotels across the strip, from the Flamingo to Bailey's to the Sierra Station. Pretty cheap when we were there, and definitely something we'll check out in a later video. The MGM does have a nice food court with a Nathan's, Haagen-Dazs, and some other, let's see, there's even like an ice cream place. Something cool is they also do the Grammys at MGM. So now that we've seen the food court and everything, let's go take a look at the MGM Grand Buffet. Alright, we've made it to our table, so now let's take a look at the options on the buffet. Note that the buffet really isn't very long. It's a long table, but half of it is a duplicate of the other side, so there really isn't that much, and then there's sort of a dessert table off in the corner that we'll show you in a little bit. But for now, just enjoy the food.
Just finished our first round here at the Grand MGM Buffet, and I think there was one thing that I really enjoyed, and that was the potatoes. Outside of that, everything kind of lacked flavor, wasn't really the right texture, was like overcooked or had been sitting in a pan for too long. Not quite what I expected. What did you think about it?
For me, kind of same feelings. The roast beef had really no flavor at all. The bacon had been sitting there too long, so it was like super greasy and kind of tough, as weird as that sounds. The ribs were okay, but there was no barbecue sauce to put on them, so it was kind of like, okay. And everything has just been meh, you know, not so great. The biscuits and gravy, like it's packet gravy with some overdone biscuits. So definitely not what I expected for my first experience, but we're definitely gonna hit the bar again and see if we can have something better. So I got the make your own pasta at the pasta station. I don't know what to say about it. It was interesting. I mean, they like have al dente pasta that they throw in the water, and then you mix some like cream with some.
I just decided to show the crowd real quick because they're all online
Right.
for nothing.
For like some basil and some pepper. It's not bad. It's not Alfredo though. It's more like a garlic creamy sauce. I don't know. Like, I don't know. At least he added a little bit of spice to it, so it has some flavor. But really, overall, I don't think this place is worth it. It just takes so long to get food, and the food's not the greatest when you get it. So I'm not sure what the incentive is for these.
All right, now that we've grabbed our quick, unsatisfying meal, we're heading out to the pool, and we'll show you even the private pool area when we get there. The one thing we will say about the MGM is the pool is really awesome, and it does have a lazy river, which you'll see right here, which sort of wraps around all of the pools. It's pretty long and a nice experience, so the pool is definitely worth it. If you're at the MGM, make sure to head down there and check it out. This is the private area right here, though. All right, so what did you think of the room service?
It came quicker than they quoted, so that was really cool. Overall, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely one of the better foods that we've had since we've been at MGM. I got the steak and eggs. My steak was a little overcooked. I asked for it medium. It was probably more medium well. The hash browns were decent. My eggs were cold by the time they got here, so I'm not a fan of cold eggs, so I didn't really eat those. And the hash browns weren't bad. French toast was definitely tasty, for sure. I would say it was kind of middle of the road. It was about $100, so was it worth the money? Probably not, but it wasn't bad. What did you think?
I mean, overall, it was okay. The cheese curds were the best for me. They actually came warm, and they were really tasty. The French toast was okay, but again, everything else was like lukewarm. My eggs weren't that great because they were cold, and the cheese had actually already formed back up into like a solid block. But it had a good portion of meat and stuff in it. I just don't know. I just feel like it was a little bit too cold for it to be room service and just come from the, food making area. But overall, not a bad meal, and a little bit expensive at $100 for like 3 things. It's not really the greatest price, but it's worth a try. And if you don't want to leave your room, it's a lot better than the MGM buffet. So it's kind of worth it in that aspect.
All right, so
That concludes our MGM Grand stay, visit, tour, all the shindigs.
all of the things. Yeah. So this was an interesting adventure.
So let's start with the check-in process.
Yeah. So check-in was
Not good. It was a nightmare. It took forever. It wasn't supposed to open until like 3. We didn't get our room till like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
MGM Resorts offers a online virtual check-in, and so we went down that road and something happened to it and it wasn't working.
Disappeared from our actual thing.
So then I had to go back to the front desk and then repay my deposit. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was this crazy thing, but I was like, whatever, just make sure you guys fix it.
It took forever, so legit tip, if you're checking into this hotel on the Strip, have something planned for that day. And don't expect your room till at least 5 p.m. is what I would say. I know they say 3 p.m. is the check-in window or whatever. At least have something till 5 p.m. that you're going to be doing.
It took almost an hour to get our bags, and we packed not our suitcases. We packed our swimsuits in our suitcases, and I think in the future we're going to pack our swimsuits on our person versus putting it in our suitcase.
Another legit tip is skip the buffet at the MGM.
Yeah.
Specifically right now. As you'll see in our video, there's one tiny line. I think we even already said this in the video. One tiny line, tons of people trying to go down that line. The wait time to even go through the thing was at least 30 minutes. You're only supposed to be there, I think, a max 2 hours too. So if you wanted to make multiple trips to the buffet line, that's at least an hour of waiting that you have to do. So again, not a recommendation on the buffet. Pretty pitiful.
And it was $50 a person.
Yeah.
For a breakfast, brunchy buffet, and we've paid that much money for Disney buffets, and
It's not worth it.
This didn't even come close to touching it at all.
We do go to the Asian Walk though. We'll link that up here. That was actually a pretty good experience. So some of their other restaurants may be good. We just didn't have a chance to try them, but do not. Our recommendation is do not go to the buffet.
Skip the buffet. Yeah. Another thing is the room itself. So the room itself was kind of a little dated. It definitely had a few broken fixtures within the actual room itself, and our view
It's just the roof
was the rooftop.
with the like LED projectors that just shine into the window. So if you don't have a good covering on those windows, you're not going to sleep very well if you don't like light.
Agreed. The TV channels didn't really come in all that great. Not that we watch a whole lot of TV. One of our legit tips is if you are doing any kind of hotel stay is to consider purchasing an Amazon Fire Stick or a Roku, because you can easily hook those up to the hotel's Wi-Fi if you're purchasing the Wi-Fi. Not everybody does. And you can stream like your Netflix, your Disney Plus, and whatever subscription services you have back at home.
Agreed.
Especially if you're like us we don't really watch live TV that much. It's not what it used to be.
Don't care for commercials.
Yeah.
So the pool was awesome. It was the last day that we were there when it closed. The pool was kind of cool. It had like a nice lazy river. We did get there later in the afternoon because, again, as we talked about the check-in process. So one of the things I don't really know is like kid level. I can't really speak to that. It wasn't too bad when we were there, but again, we weren't there during like the prime times of the day.
And there were parts of the pool that were heated and parts of the pool that weren't heated.
And the parts that were heated had a ton of older fellows with their shirts off.
Yeah, the hot tub was like, we were like, oh, let's go to the hot tub. And we walked around the corner and it just looked like an old man.
Pool was not bad.
Also, they were, and it makes sense now that I know that it was the last day that the pool was open, but they were like out of their collector sipper cups and they were out of a lot of things.
The pool area was nice. That was one of the positives of our stay at MGM, I would say. Another thing too is like the pool is really far away from the rooms. The rooms are really far away from the parking. So if you're going to stay there, a legit tip is valet if you can, because that'll save you some time getting to your room. But another legit tip is be prepared to walk, because there's a lot of walking if you want to actually use the amenities at the hotel. Like, it was a walk to everything in that hotel.
And to get to the pool, you literally have to walk through the casino, through the shops, and then all the way at the outside. And then you still have to walk some more once you get outside.
Because it's actually closer to the MGM timeshare hotel that's actually behind the Grand. That's where the pool is actually connected to. So it's kind of like that pool was built for that hotel, and the MGM Grand is just kind of sharing it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Shopping center, not super big either. And while we're just touching on that, as we walked through there, it was different than most of the other shopping centers. It had like TV stuff there and things, because MGM does have a movie studio and like TV studio, but nothing was open.
So make sure you guys definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, so that way that you guys don't miss those future adventures, especially if you want to know how some of this stuff works, because I know in my head I still don't know how it works, and I would love to share that knowledge with you guys because it's super helpful.
So then another thing we got was room service. So we try to touch every base when we go to these hotels. Room service was really subpar. It was like getting Uber Eats.
Yeah.
The food was cold at best. A couple pieces were lukewarm. Really, 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 really disappointing is all I can say about that.
I think the most disappointing part for me for the room service was that I was expecting it to come like on a cart and to come on actual plates. But instead it was just like takeout.
Just like Uber Eats. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it was.
Everything about it was just like an Uber Eats delivery.
And I think I spent like a good $120 on just breakfast.
And we didn't get anything super fancy. We got the basic kind of like bacon eggs,
pancakes,
toast type of thing. And like everything was cold.
Yeah, and exactly. It was cold by the time we got to our room. So again, Uber
What's the
Eats.
point?
Like,
Yeah,
what
what's
was
the point?
Yeah, what was the point? And I believe the food actually comes from the cafe. So I think if the food had been hot, it wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, like, it was just a little disappointing. But checkout process wasn't bad. They actually were able to come get our bags pretty quickly when we called Bellhop, and he asked if we were going to be checking out like right away or if they just needed to hold it. So keep in mind too, they'll hold your bags for you if it's like checkout time, but you're not quite ready to go to the airport yet. So they will hold them for you down by valet.
Yeah. The thing too about valet, we talked about earlier, the importance of it. At the end though, it did take a long time for them to get our car. We were waiting for, he was actually getting ready to be like, I'm going to go check with them to see if I can get your car a little quicker. Because he's like, it shouldn't take this long to get the car. And I think the reason for that is, and one of the points we haven't really talked about throughout, is they're really still on a skeleton staff, which is disappointing because they're charging full price for these rooms and they're totally on a skeleton staff. So the people there are woefully understaffed. They're doing the best they can, but with that becomes frustrations, comes a ton of extra time. And honestly, right now, maybe consider a different hotel right now until they get the staffing issues sort of up to where they are supposed to be.
I think that's going to wrap it up for our debrief on staying at the MGM Grand.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. Yeah. Definitely fun staying off the Strip, and it's definitely a different experience than you would expect.
I'm really excited to do some more staycations here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we only stayed at the MGM for like $60, so it's definitely a possibility for those who want to save some money, get a little bit of a hotel stay, and your entire purpose is just to sleep because it's a really dark room.
Yeah. That I feel like that's like across the board. Yeah. At like every Vegas hotel. You're in a cave. So let us know in the comments below if there is anything we missed that we should have checked out at the MGM Grand, or if there's a hotel on the Strip, off the Strip, Fremont Street that you guys think that we should totally show if we haven't already, and we will definitely add that to our list of things to do in 2022. And
don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you get updated as we stay along Las Vegas Strip, because we're going to be doing a lot of that this year. So definitely make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get updated when things come up.
And we will see you guys in the next adventure.
Yeah, come get lost with us again. Bye.